What's up? It is Saturday, May 24th in the early AM. I'm in the forest and Aries is receiving a new visitor today, and that visitor is Saturn. Speaking of someone whose natal Saturn is in Pisces and has just endured 2.5 years of a Saturn return, there are things to say objectively about what Saturn and Aries will be like, and there are things to say subjectively about what one's natal Saturn return is like. First and foremost, the most important thing to do, in my opinion, is to look at which house is ruled by Aries. That house is going to be lit up in your chart for the next 2.5 years, and major themes around structure, discipline, lessons, loss, focus, bindings, bondage, things that we feel tied to that either serve us or don't serve us but have been with us for some time in our energetic field. This is what Saturn represents. Saturn represents kind of like the don't pass go until you've done something, collect 200, whatever, went to jail, whatever Monopoly does. It represents a point in your life, and it happens for everyone around ages 27 to 29 and again in your 50s, because Saturn's cycle is roughly about 27-ish years. It's gonna happen for everyone. And yeah, the best thing I could say is to first start out with where is Aries in your chart. Another question to ask is where is Mars in your chart, because this can allude to additional themes that will relate to your Saturn return, because Aries is ruled by Mars. So whatever a house's rulership, wherever that planet is in the chart, what it's doing, what its flavor is, will tell you more about what sign rules that house. Long-winded way of saying, if your Saturn's in Aries, look at the Aries sign in your house, look at the Aries house in your chart, and wherever Mars is in your chart. I could not have prepared for myself for how transformative my Saturn return was. Not everyone's is going to be that way, because none of us are the same, and also I'm just kind of an intense person when it comes to like transformative things. My life seems to be marked by that. Everybody's life is marked by constant transformation, but like I put in a lot of conscious effort to make transformation a central theme of my life, which is in part why I think my Saturn return was so big and so transformative, is because I went in with that intention. I even recorded a video the week that my Saturn return started, like a little vlog diary of, you know, like, you're about to make some big changes. Speaking as your past self, this was me in the video to myself, like, I don't know what's in store for you, I just feel like a big change is coming. Should have known I was psychic then. No. Yeah. I lost a job due to a company-wide layoff. I moved cities. I entered and exited. I'll just say a transformative relationship. I went back to school. I finished a degree. I've quit several major vices. I used to vape. I stopped vaping during my Saturn return. I virtually stopped drinking. And full disclosure, like, I have alcoholism on both sides. I don't really think I ever like fell down that path, but it definitely was a potential vice for me, and I've kind of quit that. I started off my Saturn return, you know, taking 2 low-grade doses of psychiatric medications for like focus and depression. I've stopped relying on both of those. I was able to come off of both of those. Like, my life in no way, shape, or form looks the same as it did in the beginning of 2023. I don't feel the same as I did in the beginning of 2023. You know, oof. If there's like there's a basket of goodies that I could bestow upon anyone about to embark on their Saturn return, Saturn and Aries people, I would say take each day as it comes. Learn to rely on some type of external record keeping of your internal experience. That's a long-winded way of saying consider journaling or video diarying, even taking photos. Like, you're gonna want to look back in 2.5 years and see how far you've come, because the transition from your later 20s into your 30s, which, you know, coincides with one Saturn return, like, it's just a good idea. I'm sussing out which direction I want to go. Yeah, so everyone's Saturn return looks different. Even if everyone has their natal Saturn in the same place, it's going to be in a different house for everyone. We're all just individual people. Like, we're very similar in a lot of ways, and also the way we go into our experiences are very different, because what we intend to have happen is very personal and private and different to anyone, like different to everyone, and how you intend to go into something is usually indicative of, at least to a certain degree, what you're going to get out of it. So for people who are seriously embarking on a Saturn return in Aries, you know, Aries is a fire sign. Saturn is more of an earthy planet. So it kind of gives me the vibe of, like, you know, those animals that like dig in the dirt. It's not a specific animal, but it's more so just like an animal behavior of like digging in the dirt and like it just goes everywhere. Like, that's what I feel like the feeling of Saturn in Aries is going to be. It's going to be a lot of like kicking up dirt, and it's going to get messy. You're going to get dirt in your mouth and your eyes and your face for a little bit, and there's going to be a point at which you learn like how to clean yourself in such a way so that the dirt doesn't fling back up. You know, Saturn is about lessons. Saturn is about restriction. Saturn is about what we are bound to that may or may not be serving us. So this 2.5 year period of Saturn in Aries is going to be like throwing spaghetti against the wall in terms of, whoa, I didn't even know I had that blind spot. Okay, so I have the blind spot. Or, whoa, I didn't even know I was exhibiting that behavior. Okay, so I'm exhibiting that behavior. Like, what do I do with it? And something that at least I noticed about my Saturn return was that there were questions that were uncovered for me that I did not have any external answer to. And part of my Saturn return was realizing that, like, I am my ultimate source of wisdom. Like, I am my ultimate source of truth, of authority, outside of anyone, any expert, any person, even people who, because you know how people say only take advice from people whose shoes you'd want to be, you'd like, whose life you'd like happily switch with. Even in certain things like that, like, your Saturn return has the potential to show you things or reveal to you questions about life, about yourself, that like even people who you look up to, who you consider as mentors, won't be able to tell you. They may be able to help guide you. They may be there as a sounding board or just a safe person, which is really important to have, 1, in life, 2, in your Saturn return. You know, like, really learning to rely on our own decision-making process. I want to make more videos about what Saturn and Aries is going to be, but I wanted this to be like the bedrock, the foundation of what a Saturn return feels like, because again, it feels different for everyone. Everyone's different. Everyone's internal experience, it's same in many ways, but it's different. Okay. No. There's just so much to encapsulate. It might be a 2.5 long series I do on this. But yeah, to prepare, first of all, pat yourself on the back because of how far you've come. You did it, you're here. 2, check out, if you don't know already, which house is ruled by Aries in your chart, and learn a little about that house. If you're confused, message me, I can help. If you want to know more about a house, like schedule some time with me, I can help. If you want to know what your Saturn return means, reach out, schedule some time. Yeah. Outside of anything I could say to prepare you or anything like that, I want to take a moment to bless everyone on their path as I walk mine. Bless everyone on their path. Bless everyone on their Saturn return in Aries. It is a wild ride. I'm so glad that I recorded so much of it via like journaling and photos and video diaries and whatever, because I really got to see my evolution and my progression, and it just has served me in so many ways. So I'll leave that there. Yeah, Saturn and Aries is interesting. There's a lot more to say on it, but I think I will leave this here for now. So be well, take care, be kind to yourselves. Talk to you later.